The late 70s and early 80s were thriving years for city pop, the Japanese nomenclature for music that drew in elements of West Coast AOR, blue-eyed soul, and jazz funk. And one such vocalist in that vein was Eri Ohno, who released about 8 albums between 1979 and 1985. And from her 1981 release, Good Question, the title track. Great detail so far. We got that Talkbox. We have like a really tight bass line that's making just these delectable like angular key changes and like, well, tonic shifts and such. And that really clipped guitar sound, like staccato, just, you know. I forget what that looks like, the Talkbox, when someone's actually playing. I need to go watch a video again. I think it looks kind of awkward. I like the sound though. The backing vocalist kind of sounds like Basha, although it couldn't be. Walk around, what's that sound? Good question. I love that change of speed right there. God, the bass line just so fluid, running along in that Fender solo. I love how those sax breaks were so like staccato, so tight, so choppy, just so precisely like interjecting into the structure like that. Like we've got that slick overall structure just cruising along, and then we have like those abrupt breaks for the sax. Gives it a lot of tension, contrast, and yeah, we had several tempo changes in there. We had the really slick bass that was driving along. We had those sax breaks, interjections in there. And then we had that solo where suddenly the bass started like walking really fluidly. That really dazzling Fender solo. Yeah, a lot of great detail, not to mention the Talkbox. Like, a lot of points of interest to that song. And then the dashing vocals and harmonies and such. Class act, yeah. I like the term city pop. I picture like a really beautiful, ritzy, classy city, uptown, fine dining. Not much of what you see in American cities anymore, but I heard that Japan was a pretty beautiful place back in the 80s. Yeah. Let's hear another song off the album, a ballad, the track River.
River flow, water to the sea beyond the blue. Mountains high above, river flow, river flow, river flow. Soil to grow, river to flow beyond the sea. You can roll life, run all the way to me. You have the way, nature's hand to see. None to change, run your way to me, to
God, I love those sustains that she does on the chorus, and I love how basically the verses are closed cadence and really like tight, very rhythmically tight. And then in the chorus, we go into those open cadences, and the way that she holds like the final vowel, the end of each line. Yeah.
how you do, show me the close I like to be.
And I love the chromatic shifts of the bass line. It's like going through it's covering like the flats and sharps as it goes down, like from like like G major 7, then like
Like in the soul, river falls and me. River flow, water to the sea beyond the blue.
yeah it's going like half steps to get to E, or yeah half steps to get to E from G major 7. Yeah.
Mountains high above, river flow, river flow, river flow. Soil to grow, river to flow beyond the sea. You keep your life, run all the way to me. You have the way, nature's hand to see. None to change, run your way to me, to me.
She has such command of the microphone. I mean, at once she's very restrained, yet the just ability to ooze out the tone, just one of those singers who you have to kind of really be paying attention for a while and just let her do her thing, and eventually the nuances of her gift, of her range, of her kind of become just more self-evident as it goes through more changes that kind of make her expand in certain ways. But she's not like not once have I heard her really trying to dominate. But there are certain moments. It's like a lot of these records that are made by vocalists where the voice is the main instrument, is the main point of interest. Um, Instruments will be kind of like low in the mix, and the vocalist will be kind of mixed high and kind of out in front, and they will be doing a lot of singing to kind of oftentimes draw attention to their singing, and she's not doing that. And yet, and the instrumentation all gets like is all getting equal like sonic space in this, and there are so many instrumental details of note, as I've pointed out in like the last track, and yet there are times when her voice nonetheless emerges at the fore, and you just can't help but be in awe of her. It's like a one of those singers, I guess, who's so confident, so naturally, attuned to her own gift that she doesn't really need to go out of her way to prove it to anyone. It just kind of becomes self-evident at times and really just takes over.
Show me your thoughts, I like to be like you so. River falls and
I think transitioning there between G major seventh and G seventh. Yeah. I love how in these instrumental breaks, it's like there's all this very light playing, and yet everything counts. I mean, each instrument just coming in to do its little light interjection or interlocking bit with another instrument,
you find a way, nature's hand to see. None to change, run away to me, to me. How do show me, 'cause I like to be like you so. River falls and river
holding those notes to the fade out. Yeah. Eri Ohno with the track River from her 1981 release, Good Question. Her fourth overall. Yeah. Seems to be on about a 1 to 2 album a year schedule between 1979 and 1986. Most of her titles on Better Days. We've a subsidiary of Nippon Columbia, And got a whole big cast of backing players on this from the city pop scene who appear on other people's records and such, I would imagine. Yeah, names like uh, Toshiyuki Daitoku on piano, on Fender Rhodes and synthesizer. Let's see if there's any other. She's does one of her. I guess she overdubs herself and also took part in the backing vocals. Yeah, with the 90-degree chorus. Oh, that's got some international people in it. Yeah, and string arrangements. Oh yeah, the guy who was just telling you about, the pianist. I guess he's the main musical director of this release. Yeah. Anyway, for more rubies and sapphires from this album and others like it in the city pop vein, big thriving scene in Japan during the late 70s and 80s, see the directory of albums by artists from the Far East. Or basically, it's basically a directory of Japanese artists, but there are a few South Korean and Filipino artists in there too. Those nations produce, and Indonesia. Those countries each produced like a few artists each, but the bulk of over 700 titles, I think currently. Yeah, the vast 95% of them are Japanese. And like and subscribe and follow me on social media, and leave a comment if there are any observations you have about the two songs and the textures, the instrumentation, the layers, and even the lyrics if something stood out to you, and heck, and most of all, the wonderful voice that we just heard. And until next time, this is Zaragon, the world's most ear-traveled trimaximalist, signing off.